live. We are live on YouTube. Look at that. It's me, Tom Hamlet. I'm here with another episode of the podcast, as well as another YouTube live. Today we are chatting everything the Real Houses of Atlanta, and the only person I could imagine doing this with is my beloved Taria Faison. And oh my God, Taria, is that you? Are you here?
It's me. I'm here. Hi, guys. And, since we were talking Atlanta, my beautiful chocolate girls, I had to bring y'all breasts because that's what Atlanta gives y'all. So I'm giving y'all a little breast action.
They really do. They have across the board. They have a heavy bosom, and I really appreciate that about
Me
them.
too. I appreciate the bosoms, the backsides, all of it.
I don't know about you, but I truly loved this episode of television of Atlanta. I don't know about you.
I will say I'm almost at love. Not quite there, but I enjoyed it. I watched it 3 times. I actually enjoyed it. I know people were not going into it. They weren't happy, right? They were already not giving it a chance. I was definitely going to give Atlanta a chance because
Yep.
Atlanta will always have my heart. Like, to me, that's hands down always been my favorite franchise. Even the years people didn't think it was entertaining, I did because I loved watching them. And I really enjoyed this episode. I really did.
It truly, like, it had everything for me. It had personal stories. It had, like a little drama. We also got Kenya, which I was really worried about. And it just kind of, I think we are in a better place than I could have ever imagined, to be honest with you.
Yes, I think we're much better than people thought we were going to be. At least some people may have thought we were going to be. I wouldn't even say better than I thought we were going to be because I just held out hope that it was going to be. Like, I was determined to enjoy it no matter what, even if I could only focus on the makeup, the clothes, the hair, the whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was great. Well, before we get into it, there's a couple hot topics things that I wanted to
okay.
that I wanted to dive into while you're here because.
Okay.
And listeners at home and viewers, we're in a little bit of a transition period with like the release schedule of the episodes because I backlog a lot of episodes for the podcast and then I've been going live, so the timeline is a little fucked up. So I haven't gotten to all of the things I want to talk about on the episodes. But I briefly want to just address everything that's going on with Wendy Williams. Oh my God, I can't stop thinking about it.
Me neither. First of all, when you said we're in a little bit of a transition, I thought you were talking about the world in general and was like, and we need some lightness.
Yes,
So that's why I thought that's where you were going. Like, yeah, we definitely are. Wendy, Auntie Wendy, I am keeping the faith for Auntie Wendy. I'm so excited that she passed her test. I think it was brilliant of her dropping that note and her using her being locked away with this and the window, like her and her whoever she has with her being creative enough to use that to her advantage. She used the paparazzi to her advantage. And there is another YouTuber, shout out, she's one of my favorites, Jamie That's Me. A couple years ago, she did a deep dive into conservators and specifically the judge that granted Wendy's conservator, Sabrina Morrissey. And it was so crazy. And in the documentary, a lawyer said, it is pretty much impossible to get out of one unless you bring public attention to it, like in the case of Britney Spears. So I'm so glad that everybody kept pressing Wendy, free Wendy, hashtag free Wendy, So I'm excited about the possibilities for her. And if they drained her money, I think she should be able to sue.
I agree. I still don't, it's hard for me to quite understand the overall purpose of them. Like, I understand the obvious purpose to like protect people who are not the wholesome purpose, quote unquote, which I find hard to believe sometimes is actually real. But like, it's like, why put her in such a legally binding situation with against her will? I just don't understand how she gets into the situation itself.
It's when I was like, for her specifically, I'm not sure, but like other people, like older couples that are cognitive, still understanding, will be approached like, say for instance, people that have won lawsuits, lawyers can then go through and look at people who won lawsuits, cross-reference their ages, and then kind of try to convince them that they need to be in XYZ so no one comes to try to take their money. And I was explaining to Corey yesterday because he was like, well, can't she go to court to try to get out of it? I said, the problem is you have a judge that grants the conservatorship to an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
So if Wendy is trying to fight back, she has to go before what? A judge. Well, if that's the judge, and you have to go through who? Your
Yeah.
conservator, the attorney. So
Yep.
it's just a circle. It's a vicious circle that you get caught up in. And then, like with her money, for example, one conservator that ended up going to jail, thank goodness, because they did like an expose on her. Oh, you need tights? Okay, you need plain black tights, $75. She was pocketing it. And oh, you need a sweater, $100 and pocketing it. So with them talking about Wendy's money and her being broke, her best friend went to the bank with her and said, her name is Roz, shout out to Roz, said, I saw her account. One account had $55 million in it.
Whoa.
Yeah, 50. Her friend Roz was in the first Wendy Williams documentary.
Mhm. Yeah, I remember her.
Yeah, 55 million. That was one. How in the world? And even people don't like her ex-husband for what he did, cheated, created a family. However, they did have an agreement put in place. He was supposed to get X amount of dollars, blah, 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 blah. Even he has come out and said, and I think people are ignoring this part. He's come out and said, there's something funny going on with what they're doing with Wendy's money. The judge ordered Sabrina Morrissey, the conservator, to turn over financial records to him. That's been like a year ago, and she still hasn't. A judge, not a judge, ordered that.
Wow.
So for a judge to order that, a different judge, it's like, and she still hadn't turned them over. She's suing A&E for portraying for portraying Wendy the way it did. Whose money do you think she's using to pay for the lawyers? Wendy's. So
Right.
all of this is coming out of, these different evaluations. So I'm really hoping that this shows them that she is cognitive, and if there is a little something there, I hope that they rule someone who loves her can care for her, right?
Yep.
But there is a part of me that wonders if it isn't anything cognitive, if it was the alcohol abuse.
I know. I think we'll never get totally to the bottom of the substance stuff. It's
Yeah.
really tough. So
I think it would be, I would rather hear that though, because that's something you can go to AA for. That's something you can fight versus it being something cognitive.
Yeah.
But again, if somebody in her family or a loved one can care for her, I'm looking forward to hearing her call into The View on Friday.
Oh, I didn't know that was happening. Oh my
Yes,
God.
it's Friday. Yes.
That's so exciting. Yeah, she
Yes.
was great when she was on the Breakfast Club.
Did you hear her recently on The Breakfast Club?
Yep.
I loved how she named, like, I think Charlemagne knew exactly what he was doing when he was like, don't call into the Breakfast Club before 6 a.m. And she's like, please join me with my friend Joy, my friend Sunny. Like, she was naming, and I was like, I wonder if she's doing that to let people know. I know, I'm not crazy. I know what's going on. So I
My other
love
thing is,
Wendy.
like, what do you think happened between the documentary and then now? Because in the documentary, she is not in a good space.
Honestly, I was wondering if, looking back now, I was wondering if she was drunk a lot of the time.
Yeah, I think she was, because that guy that would come over her,
Yes.
who gave me the weirdest vibes.
Yes.
He was always like trying to take away vodka from her and stuff.
But then it's like, how did she get it? Like, you're taking it away, but her guardian isn't bringing it in. So who's bringing it in? So
Yeah,
I just, prayers up for Wendy. Even
No,
if she never gets behind a chair, gets behind a
Go
chair
ahead.
again, even though I want her to, I just want her to be able to live her life not locked up in a room with a window.
Yeah, the crying to help, like the TMZ video of her being interviewed from the window, and then her putting the "help me" letter, all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's really, really so upsetting. I missed this earlier, but Kix is here. It seems she says
Hi,
hi.
Kix.
Now, Taria, before we get to Atlanta, there's one other thing I wanted to bring up, and I just
Okay.
feel like we need to address this publicly because, um, no, it's nothing about you. It's about my understanding of a phrase. Okay, and now I'm going to read the phrase, and I want
Oh no.
you to explain it to me because you are more online than I am. And if anyone in the chat can explain it to me, because there are aspects of this phrase I'd like to bring into my daily life, but I need to learn a little bit more about it. And this
Okay.
phrase goes
Oh
as
no.
follows.
Okay.
The child is tea, but the finna is gag. Sis, I'm dead ass a child.
Get out of here. You are playing with me right now.
No, the
Do
kids
you
are
know I'm
saying
47 years old?
the kids are saying this. And I'm
Okay,
like,
say it again.
no, okay. The child is tea, but the finna is gag. Sis, I'm dead ass a child.
So to me, it sounds like okay.
Someone is tea.
I know child and I know finna because like
Right,
I
I'm
think
finna do something.
yeah. So I feel like if they're saying the child is T, and then at the end they're saying I'm T, are they saying that they're T and gagging somebody?
Now who's finna get gagged is where I get lost.
Oh, that's what it said. Okay, say the child. Say it again because
Child,
that.
the child is tea, but the finna is gag. Sis, I'm dead as a child. So if someone is tea, but the finna is gag, that's where they lose me. The finna is gag. Like, are they saying I am
Like I'm
finna
finna be
gag
gagged,
you?
girl.
Yeah, right. That's
Like
not
I'm
what
finna
I'm
be gagged.
saying.
That's what I would take it at. Like shout out as T. I'm finna be gagged though, yo. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, great. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to get to the bottom of that because I keep seeing memes about it, and I need to understand a little
It
bit more, kind of
has
more
to be I'm finna be gagged. I refuse to see it any other way.
context. Okay. Well, thank you, and guys, this can be an ongoing segment here on the dumpster dive
I
live.
thought you was about to ask me something, try to get my black card revoked. I was going to shut it down.
Oh
I
my
got
god, no, I would
nervous.
never do that.
There's a game that's black card revoked. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Who's trying to revoke your black card?
I don't know. I thought you were trying to set me up,
Well, I
Tom.
think it would be crazy for a white man to revoke a black card. And it would be crazy for a white man to recap Housewives of Atlanta. But here we
But
are.
here we are.
Let's dive into the premiere.
Okay.
So right off the bat, we get this Nike ad of
Girl.
Portia stretching. Now, I gotta ask I got some questions I gotta ask because the finna is gag. I don't understand. I like the product. We've upped production, and I like the general aesthetic of the new Atlanta. It
Mhm.
feels really great. The only thing I really, really struggled with was that Nike ad at the top.
Because it didn't seem, I don't know her workout routine. I know in the past she's posted workout routine, she's worked out. That didn't seem real to me. And I know there were people talking about, here she is with this 100-inch bust down makeup getting ready to run. There's been times when I have been in the middle of doing something
Yep.
and then I'll go work out. Or there's been times I'm a lip gloss lipstick girl. I love it. So sometimes I'll get ready
Hmm.
and I might put on a lipstick or lip gloss and go work out. I have never intentionally put on a full face to go work out. Now there are
See, wait,
cameras
Trina,
there.
though, the girls in New York do this.
Well, here's my workout for real like that. Yeah.
No, like there's a whole like I on Sunday I was walking to take one of Brian's classes and I passed a group of like fit influencers taking a class.
Okay.
They were all highlight, shadow, shimmer,
I guess because
pull
they're
back,
putting more
like
on. Yeah.
it's like a whole thing.
I can even get that.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say maybe because she's on TV, the makeup, I get that. There
Hmm.
was just something about her body that didn't give me, you're really like you stopped as soon as the camera panned away. You didn't continue the jog. And maybe I'm the only one that's an ugly runner. Meaning like my body, like
No,
I don't
no.
run like this.
I I think most people are. Like I have seen videos of myself running and I identify as a runner and I'm like, oh God.
Yeah. I have like
You
two.
are Usain Bolt, like running down the streets of New York
Right.
City, and then you look at it and you're like, oh, I look diabolical.
I have two that came out really good when I did like my second half,
Hmm.
and they caught me, and I have to send them, and I was like, but I know that ain't like, that was like some supernatural stuff, like, because that ain't
Yeah.
like every day, you know. But
So speaking of half, Kix is running her first half marathon this weekend. If you guys
it's
are,
this weekend.
yes, this weekend. If you guys are watching, go to Kix's Instagram. It's Kixhamlett, Kix Hamlet, and I think her fundraising link is there in the bio. So go send her some coin. She's almost at her fundraising goal.
Yes, kicks.
Go
Oh,
send
I
a,
love
go
this.
send a dollar. We have Steph in the comment. She says the Nike ad tier emoji. Portia was getting ready. It looked like she was getting ready to go on the challenge. I agree. She did look like she was about to go on some reality competition show. It's like a kind of like something you would play before the competition began.
Yeah, and for me as a person that does, I won't even say run, I'll say jog. If I could jog naked, I would, meaning there's not any, I want to feel as light as I can. So
Well,
hair out, even with a bob, I just want everything like, I want nothing on me. Hair, nothing, you know?
I know, but you're a naked person. Like you like to be naked.
But
We know this about you, Tarina.
but aside, I don't want to have a nipple slip. If my nip popped out, I would be gone. But unless of course people sent you super chats, and that would be good.
Well, you know what? Hey, we just got started here, but I'm down for that.
We will not have a Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake moment. But running, I know every runner is different, but for me, I can't eat. I don't even like to run with a ring on, a bracelet, even a watch. I
Oh,
just like to
really?
feel as light. Yeah, I like to feel as light as possible. I remember my girlfriend, and I think about her now. Sometimes I'll put them on. She gave me earrings when we were doing our second half and half marathon, and she was like, "We are cute runners. Put some earrings on," because
Yeah,
I
I wore
like to feel
necklace.
like, to me, I feel like after a while, it's like, I just need to feel completely light. So all of that hair, I mean, if it's, you got to do what you got to do. And I know that she's on TV giving us a moment, but it just did not feel like an authentic
No,
moment.
it was weird. Well, no, it wasn't authentic. I mean, they
Yeah.
had to film that scene
That's,
because
yeah, yeah.
also, what's so interesting about when these ladies come back to a show that they were on forever, they act like we don't know who they are.
Yeah. Come on.
I'm like, yo, she had a whole spin-off where she exposed every intricacy of her entire family. Like we know the ins and
Right.
outs of what's been going on.
Like we know your family. We know you were trying to fight Dennis and his mother.
Hmm.
You had Lauren pulling at Dennis. You were throwing plates. You almost picked up. Now I'm gonna give her props again on her workouts because she picked up what, like heat lamp by one arm. So we know your whole life. You don't know my life. We do.
We do.
We do.
Yeah. So I'm happy to have her back. I think she's a mainstay on this
Me
show.
too.
I was annoyed when she left, which I think she was one of the rare cases where it was a her situation because she
Yeah.
just didn't want to be on the show because she was like in love. And I'm like, to a scammer. You left. I hate when these ladies leave everything for a man. Like Kenya did too on that
Yeah,
one
she did.
season she
Yeah.
wasn't on, you know?
Yep. And she left, and I wanted her to stand in it. You didn't want them questioning you
Right.
about. And if you go back to the season before she left, when they had the reunion in all black, Marlo was a friend, and Marlo said to her, "I know who you're dating." And she was dating Simon around that time. So it's like, you could have came back and owned it. Yeah, I married him. What? I mean, because even if people didn't like your answer, it does kind of take the fight out of the argument if you bring, you know what I mean? If you just get right into it, like she could have done with Kelly. So I just kind of feel like you had to know they were going to ask you about it. But I think she thought she could maybe come in and sun the new girls a little bit. And she's an OG, and they weren't going to ask her so direct.
Well, we'll get to that because they
Yeah.
did. But
Yeah.
Vanessa in the chat says it's Shamia's world and we're just living in it. I think that's a good transition to Shamia. Now, Shamia, a couple things about Shamia for me.
Okay.
Why in God's name were we not featuring her this heavily before? Like when I heard she was cast as a main, I was like, this feels like an insane idea because like she was such a lackluster friend of like why bring her into the fold in such a main role? And then seeing this, I'm like, oh my God, like she's a superstar. Well, what have
And
we been doing?
I enjoyed her in the friend of. I see. I felt like she was good. She was always funny. She seemed natural.
She was, but she has like star quality to
I
me.
see what you're saying. Like she kind of fell back. Like Marlo, who was a friend of, was a good friend of.
Yeah.
Versus the way. Well, you know, her husband didn't want her to do it for a while. They offered it to her before, and her husband kept saying no.
God, I did not know
And
that.
then
And that's why we
eventually,
have you here.
yeah, I watched her speak on it with Candy, but she said that before
Yeah.
anyway. But she got into it further anyway. But this time around, he was fine with it. But yes, her husband didn't want her because it would open. You know what I mean? It would open their whole life, the kids and all that stuff. But
Mhm.
he decided, okay, that's fine. He was in agreement with it, and
Got
I
it.
like the fact. Now, of course, it's only been one episode, but I don't pick up that what we got from Kiarna and Greg here. I'm gonna support you, but I'm gonna make sure everybody knows I don't want to be here. I don't think we're gonna get that from Gerald.
No, he seemed much more. He's got a shit ton of money. He'll
Yeah,
be fine.
yeah,
They are rich. Like
yeah.
like Candy was rich, but like I feel like she didn't showcase it that much all the time. They're just like, no, we have money. Like
Oh
everyone's
yeah.
over at the house. We're like, everyone's here. Everyone's got a Royce. Everyone is just like money.
Candy said on the speak on it. Y'all think I've got money? Like Shamia is richer than all of us. Like she said that. Yeah.
Yeah, and he, her man, he's like what was he like the founder of some HVAC airport thing?
And
That's where you get money.
I
Okay,
was just gonna say,
you get money when you go make the thing that everyone needs, and you go and hide in the background. Like,
period. And like I know for a fact technicians make six figures.
yes, they
So if you
do.
own the company and you built, manufactured or install it, probably have a service contract. So your people service the company. Yeah, like that's yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're doing great for themselves, and I'm happy to have her here. Her story about the meeting, I was a little alarmed by.
I think that makes them a fun couple. They're probably
I
fun.
know. I don't know that I need like her talking about having the run
I
and
was
he's
gonna
blowing up
say,
his toilet.
but can you like I thought it was funny because imagine being, and I'm not saying a man wouldn't be embarrassed either, but a woman would probably be like, "Girl, I cannot believe this is
Happening.
happening."
Yeah.
You know, like we know everybody does it, but at the same time, you know, it's like I asked Corey. Now, granted, I'm going to use the bathroom. I'm not get ready to suffer or hurt my stomach, but I'll be like, and we have 3.5 bathrooms, but we don't live in a
We get it. We get
19,000.
it. You got Shamia money. We get it.
No, no, yeah. You would be
I'm
talking
only
to
in
me
my
from from Bali. No, but
2-bedroom apartment with one bathroom. Right.
but even then, I'll be like, when are you going to the if I have to go and I know are you going to the gym? He'll be like, oh, you want to use the bath? Yeah, I like really like go because I know I'm about to. But of course, I'm still going to use it. Or
I'm
he'll
about to have a time.
yes. Or I'll if I leave out of the room to use the bathroom, like oh, I'm going to use the kids' bathroom in the hallway instead of the one in our bedroom. He'll be like, oh, you got to make some noise, sir. We're not getting into
Yeah.
that.
Wait, a couple things. Oh, Steph says I thought she was going to say they hooked up. She was not expecting that story. Now, Vanessa, what on earth does this mean? Let me put this on the screen.
Oh, okay, I want to see.
Do you think Shamia can be the next Hannah Burner, but way better? What does that mean? Do you like Hannah?
We don't want to. We like you. We don't want to have to block you, girl. No, I'm just
No, we
kidding.
love Vanessa, but
No, I'm just kidding.
the Hannah, like you mean? I think
Like
what you mean
funny.
is like a breakout star, funny
Yeah.
personality, and then she gets too big for the show. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She says as comedian, and
Yeah.
I'm just giving you shit, mostly because Hannah just had some interesting things happen on the red carpet.
I have a confession. Is this a safe
She
space?
says I don't like Hannah. No, I'm
No,
just
yeah,
giving you
no,
shit. I'm just
yeah.
giving you shit. I knew you didn't like her.
No, but yeah, and I figured she meant like a comedic way. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
I hope this is a safe space. I don't think Hannah's funny. Okay.
I I think she can be. I think there. I get it. I would say. I don't think it's my thing.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
get it.
that
There are
makes
times
sense.
where like I chuckle. Like I'm like, oh, that is funny. Like
I can agree with
I
that.
think she definitely scratches an itch in the white lady market.
I like how you said I can say it may not be funny to me, but I get it. Yes, that's what it is.
Well, we don't do that enough. There are so many. We're such a
Yes.
polarizing culture now. We're
Yes.
always like, even with housewives, we're like, I hate that woman. I love that woman. Despise her. Like. It's just like, well, some people you're like, yeah, I get their appeal, but they're not for me. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Nope. And we should be able to say that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah, no, she steals jokes. She does. She's very famous for
Oh
stealing
yeah.
material.
Yeah.
But you know what? Hats off to her and Paige because they're making gazillion dollars doing what they're
Listen,
doing with Giggly Squad.
because
So
I'm not on the red carpet with Meg the Stallion. If I
no.
was, that wouldn't have been the outcome. But shouts out to them.
What an insane thing to say to her when the woman, the woman was shot.
And to not to, there is a way I feel like you've interviewed people on TV before. We've done that. Sometimes you really are excited. I know for me, I can think of certain people that I've interviewed that I really felt like I had an affinity for and got to know them outside of that. So I was excited.
Yeah.
But there is a way to kind of get that out of your system. You know what I mean? To kind of like, don't become a fan I don't know. Maybe I'm not even saying it right. But like to me, it was so cringy. And Paige was really, really trying to like kind of
Well,
walk her.
Paige isn't as good on her feet. Like,
That's the thing. And that's why they kind of sort of balance each other out in a way.
yeah, Paige is the like dry straight man typically. I
Yeah.
think she was so nervous. But also I want to be like, wait, can y'all name some Megan Thee Stallion
Now
songs?
and I want you to name ones that aren't, give me lyrics to ones that are not on the radio.
Right. Like, can you give me the first verse of Big Ol' Freak, her first single? I don't know. I feel like what you know is Hiss and Body.
And probably Go Meg, which is Glow.
Yeah.
Go
Oh, right,
Meg.
right, right. Yeah.
So
Yeah. So just I did feel like Paige was trying to have a moment, like, oh, trying to have her moment. Oh, I see what she's saying. Like
oh
trying to
yeah.
have her moment in front of this. Yeah. I don't disagree.
God bless.
We gotta, I don't know. Sometimes, well, never mind. I'm not gonna forge into this territory. We gotta get back to Atlanta. So yes, we have Shamia, we have Portia. We also get a scene with Kenya and Drew. I have to say, I said this on Kendrick's podcast that comes on Friday, um, talking about the Atlanta premiere. I have a theory that Bravo is going to be a little surprised at the reaction from the fan base when all of this plays out about Kenya being removed from the cast because while Kenya is a villain, admittedly a villain, she has a large fan base,
Yeah.
me included, um, who don't always agree with her actions, but think she's a great reality television personality and is missed when she's not there. And
Yeah.
so I think her removal from the show is going to be interesting from a fan base situation. And I wouldn't be surprised if she's willing to come back to the network, return next season because they want to go back on what they did. Granted, we only saw one episode, but
Yeah. I was never a Kenya fan, but I understood why. The season that she was gone, I can be honest and say I didn't miss her. I kind of was like, oh, good. But her coming back, great. I can see her appeal. You know what I mean? Like I see her appeal. And I really wanted her and Portia to be friends. And then when Portia messed it up because her and Nene got back together,
Mhm.
like that was all. And I feel like that kind of hurt Kenya. Like, and then, they're back and forth. So I can say I see Kenya's appeal and she gets it. She definitely gets it. And I will say that this is the first time I'm already saying I'm going to miss her when she's gone because she knows what she's doing effortlessly, like how she did, in this episode with Britt and, well, specifically with Kelly, getting that information out of Kelly and bringing that to the forefront. It was effortless. And I loved her talking to Drew, asking the questions. What Ralph? I mean, what Dennis? Is Portia okay with that? Like she was asking the questions that we want while Drew was looking crazy. Cause what? So I feel like Bravo already. This is my personal thought. They didn't want to bring her back, but then Portia signed on. They lost Candy, so they're like, because
You think?
she was on Carlos King's podcast when I used to listen last year, and her interview was really good. But also, she called Bravo out on a lot of things, and was basically like, I still haven't got my pickup letter. Like, it was a lot of things said that I pretty sure got back to them and they were not pleased with, but that was her truth. And she called them out a lot. And I do think that they weren't going to bring her back. I really don't. I mean, because it was like last minute. We didn't get her coming back until last minute. And then I think they thought this was not a got you, but oh, she did this to herself. So we're going to phase her out. But like you said, I think they're going to be surprised at just how she continues to trend. And I think that is what will make them ask her back. But then again, I don't know. People want Nene to
Yeah.
come back. So who knows? I will say this. Kenya is one that can, how they have the nieces and the aunties. Like, and I like when my housewives can be niece sometimes, but mainly auntie. Kenya looks like she can be with those ladies. I love my Cynthia. God knows I do. But this episode, I said, auntie, she's auntie's aunt. But I wanted her there because that scene with her and Kenya brought back the old school housewife type, them repeating a story. And then we know what Kenya's going to do with that information. But she seemed like she was hot, tired, out of place. She didn't get a chance to stop by the right wig shop. And I don't want that
or the right dress shop.
Or the dress shop. And I don't want that for Cynthia because she's stunning,
she is one of the most beautiful women.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't want that for her.
I agree. She was asking the kids what finna gag means.
And I know I should have, like, watching them, I was like, oh man, I wish it would have been Cynthia, Kenya, Angela Oakley, because she's kind of in that crowd, Nene, Portia. Like, I was putting together my own cast watching, even though I enjoyed the episode, but I really enjoyed the little bit that we saw of Kenya. And I know people are saying Bravo did her wrong. They didn't even give her a confessionals. I agree. But then we also know that the confessionals were filmed after the season and she had been let go. But I still feel like they should have given her a confessional based off of the scenes that she's in. Because clearly she was a big part of what's going to change the course of the cast. So I feel like she should have been given some confessionals.
Yeah, I agree. So let's dive into the new ladies. Shamia is new, but
yeah,
we know her. So we have Britt, Angela, and Kelly.
Is Angela full time or is she a friend?
Yeah, she's full time.
I don't know why I was thinking she's a friend. Okay.
No, she's full time. I don't know if she got bumped up to full time at some point, but she is a full time wife.
Okay.
She's in the photo of all of.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I think that's her right there.
That's her right there. Hey, Ange.
So these new ladies, I was hesitant about bringing some new faces on.
They are
needed a refresh, but I didn't know what direction. And then they announced who they were, and I was like, are they a little too influencery? They felt that way because they're very. I mean, they're beautiful, but they're very yassified. You know what I mean? Like when y'all, they're all beautiful. Once again, I want to just reiterate that again. But when we did these flashbacks of Kelly's cookbook, I had to ask the question:
who was that on the cookbook?
Is that Kelly?
I said it has to be filler. Like I literally and like lip, cheek, something, because that was a totally different person, and she was so gorgeous. I will say, watching her straight on, it was, and I'm just gonna keep it real, was a little less than what the pictures that I've seen.
I agree. You kind of get used to the look.
That's what it is. You get used to it. Cause I was like, Kelly, you were, yeah.
I know we're I think everyone watching, you and me, we're all on the same page.
All on the same page. And I just,
you guys are asking some questions. We'll come back to them after we keep chatting. So keep asking questions in there. We'll revisit. And so Kelly gives 17 purses to her 17-year-old on her 17th birthday. Do you think she would have done that with the cameras not there?
There is a part of me that thinks she would have made it lavish.
You do.
I
Yeah,
think
I kind of
so.
think so too,
I
honestly.
think
I
I
think
think
she
I
is
think
a
she would
bit of
have.
that. And you know what? I love to see that she made that money herself.
She did, and we're now. I don't know if you remember, but last year it came out because We Go Podcasts on YouTube and wherever else you listen to your podcast covered this story. When she talked about her and her divorce, it was bad. Like he went to jail for not. He had got it a couple times for not paying child support. He has an older daughter that used to work for her restaurant, and when they separated, it became very contentious. And the older daughter put hands, well, her mouth bit one of her daughters.
Oh wow.
That was content. So like, I think he took money out of her account. So it was, so when she talks about, that's all I'm going to say. I meant to go back and reread the articles, but her divorce was extremely bad. Like he went to jail a couple of times. So I'm glad that it was her restaurant and that she's able to rise,
Yeah.
and she took the steps to, and she's able to take care of her daughters. I like how she said, I did it for one, I've got to do it for three more, for birthday. So I like that she's already planning. And people are like, oh, I would have, like Portia was like, she should have bought her land or something. How do you know she hasn't already? You don't know. How do you know that she doesn't have a portfolio or investments for her daughter already and still wanted to give her purses? You don't know that
And
she.
Portia is just as gaudy.
Right. Come on. Like, so
Yeah.
I like the fact that you could see the genuine joy on her daughter's face, and they were all so cute. It was when her daughter was like, I heard my name. We don't know these people. The way she just went over to her and hugged her, I just feel like she was, I thought about Teresa and her daughters, and how no matter what we think of Teresa, we know she loves her daughters and her daughters. And I felt like that with Kelly,
Yeah.
even in this short scene. So
I
yeah.
agree. I completely agree. Yeah, and then we met Britt. Now, Britt, for those that don't know, Britt is the person that gets into the spat with Kenya, where Kenya reveals some photos of her doing some acts with the man. Now, meeting Britt, I there's some stuff like Kelly's bringing some. I think Kelly is being 100 Kelly, right?
Me too.
Britt is being a little, I don't know. There's some mystery to her to me, and there's some mystery with that man to me.
So I saw them on a podcast interview. Well, I saw clips of them, right? So when people started giving their marriage a color, is all I'll say.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like they didn't call it a purple marriage, but a variation of purple. Like people were asking, was it a lavender marriage?
Yeah. Oh, got it. Got it. Got it. Got
I
it.
never
Sorry,
picked up
confused
on
me.
that.
Give me a second.
Yeah. I never picked up on that when I saw them in their interview, right? Like in
Mhm.
these clips of them. But then going back and watching the scenes and some of the pictures, I was like, oh, I don't know. I think there is a bit of mystery to her for sure. It's crazy that you are saying that you were in high school in men's magazines.
Yeah,
I don't think you
that
realized what you said,
was wild to admit.
and you thought it was a flex. Girl, high school.
No, no, no. I don't think we should be doing. And this that I don't know. It's hard to navigate because you don't. I'm not trying to slut shame
Me
anyone.
neither. Absolutely not. Because I feel like you should
But
be able
you're
to do.
putting some stuff on the table that now we're going to venture into some territories later on. We know we're venturing into some
And
tough spots
and
later on,
people are going
right?
to tie it together because we know that Kenya was probably calling her an escort. What we did, an escort of some sort or what have you. And then you're going to go right back to, well, if she was doing that at 17, the like, what was she, So
Yeah.
yeah, people are definitely going to, yeah,
Yeah. So,
unfortunately.
no, so the reason the whole like photo comes up that Kenya prints out is because Britt says something really terrible to Kenya, apparently,
Yes.
right? Do you know what that thing is?
There were rumors that they were going back and forth, and Britt said, I got pals for people like you or women like you.
Oh, right. Okay.
But
Yes.
then allegedly they did an investigation and people were saying that's not what she said. But then Portia said in her Breakfast Club interview, Britt said something dangerous to Kenya. So people are like, see, Kenya, I mean, it is the truth. That is what she said. Clearly, she said something that I guess my question would be when Kenya was on Tamron Hall, she said something to me. If she said something like that, you would then come behind her and do that if you were afraid? Because she said she went to the network
Right.
and didn't feel protected. That's what she said. I didn't feel protected. So then you went and did, and I'm not saying again, it's whatever. If Kenya felt that was necessary, but so it'll be interesting to see how Bravo plays it out.
Yeah, I'm very curious. And then we get to the party and we get to meet Angela, who is the last of her new wives, and she is married to wait, what's his name at this point?
Charles, don't let her hear you say that. Put some respect on Charles's name, okay?
Yes, Charles Barkley, right? Who?
Charles Oakley.
Oakley. Oh my god.
Angela is coming for you.
Angela. She's watching me right there.
I asked Corey. I was like, "You heard of Charles?" And he was like, "Yeah, he's the OG." So like OG in basketball. Then he was saying the same thing.
A blind spot for me.
For you. Well, he liked to fight. Corey said he was like a Dennis Rodman, but not as funny. So Charles liked to slap people.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. It was so funny because I was watching Kempire, shout out to Kempire, and he was talking about Charles is banned from MSG. I only know one MSG. So I said, how are they going to ban him from eating a certain type of food because he likes to fight? Didn't think anything more. I promise you, that is what I thought. I moved on. I was watching his recap. I moved on in my brain. That was my first thought. How are they going to ban that? That don't even make sense. But I can't even give that any thought. Later on, he brings up Charles again and says, yeah, he can't even go to Madison Square Garden. I promise you, it was like a Portia moment. I was like, Madison Square Garden. MSG. I didn't know y'all called Madison Square Garden. I even asked Corey. He didn't know either.
Jersey?
I'm from South Jersey, okay?
No, okay. I just want to clarify something. Charles Barkley is a basketball player.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Like
he liked to fight, too.
Charles Newton or something.
You know why?
This person.
It came across so shocking because Angela wanted to let us know. The Charles Oakley. Put some respect on his name.
No, was Charles Barkley on... What team did Charles Barkley play for?
The Bulls.
As well?
Yes.
Okay, guys. Don't get so all up on me.
Okay, but you know what? Bulls. You did that. You did that little something. You did that.
Kix over here hasn't watched Bravo in 10 years and is like, Charles Barkley? Yeah, so I really liked Angela. I thought Angela had a really breezy kind of light shade. She clearly doesn't need the show and she just is like excited to see what happens. Like, I don't know, she's got a breeziness to her and she's stunning and not like done up like our beloved Kelly.
Just a little bit dumb, but yeah, just a little bit dumb.
A little bit,
but she's still stunning. Yeah,
it looks good.
Yeah. Regardless. Also, I do feel like the lighting. They need to get that together because all in their confessionals, sometimes they look like mud. Like their makeup was off.
Well, someone needs to help. I don't know that the green screen is always the right move. So for those that don't know, and I don't know why this is, but certain production companies choose how to do their confessionals differently. If you notice on Beverly Hills, they film in their homes. They do the full setup behind them. It's not a green screen situation. But then I would say the majority of the others are green screens. Mm-hmm. They're filming this new type of confessional where they do like full body shots.
Like Dubai.
Like Dubai did, which I do think are cute, can be cute. But I think you honestly need a real setup, like a real.
Me too. Dubai pulled it off. To me, they did
pull it off. But some of these situations, like Cynthia's specifically,
oh my gosh,
you can essentially see where the green screen like stops.
Yeah,
it starts. It's so bad.
It is very bad. And if I was one of the wives, I'd be pissed. I want to be in my sweatpants from the neck down like before. I mean, from the waist down like before.
Now I gotta be in the whole heels and everything. But so we gotta talk Drew.
Oh, Drew is so beautiful and just such a she's
Drew is such a liar, and I love it. I love her for it.
You know what I thought of immediately when Kenya went over, and before Kenya came over, she's talking to her chef. I'm like, I hope this one doesn't sue her because remember she got sued by her chef the last time, and I'm like, Drew, to me, she's an actress, so she's acting the way she thinks a housewife should be, almost like desperate. It almost reminds me Desperate Housewives esque. Like Drew, you don't. First, the food looked good. I don't even eat seafood, but their food looked good. I was like, they're not eating that. They're getting shots. But anyway, I was like, Drew, it just doesn't even seem, Drew doesn't even seem like the type that would have a chef. And I hate to say that, you know what I mean? But I just like,
Drew, I know. Well,
Drew,
it's all fake for the show, but she
she's
only goes so
cringy.
far.
Yeah, yeah. And
Now,
the fact that she's got to leave every first, third, and fifth weekend, like,
and Ralph hanging out in that basement, y'all, I can't.
and the app, can you, I want to see the text messages on the app.
Same. Kendrick was making me laugh. He was like, they are going at it.
Yeah, but Drew said, I want to send some middle finger emojis, but I'm not doing that. But you would have to be an idiot. But then again, emotions fly high. But like when the judge can look at it. But yeah,
Yeah. So Drew, allegedly behind the scenes, has been trying to get Dennis the Hot Dog King to like film scenes with him and stuff because they've been working together on music. She's like created this close relationship with him. And the reason she met Dennis was through Portia, because Portia was like, I don't know why they were close, but they kind of became
they
tangentially
became
close
close.
like
Yeah,
throughout filming. And so at the end of the episode, Portia asked permission to break the fourth wall, which we love. I love that. That was a question that we had in the chat earlier. I'm always here for a fourth wall break,
me
especially because
too.
the majority of the fights on the Real Housewives and every other Bravo show, if it is always at least 50% about the show. I know that sounds like a
Right.
lot, but it really is, because if you put yourself in the situation of filming a show, you have to be thinking about filming the show while you're in it. Like, and so when someone alleges something about you or when someone
Yes.
does something about you, they're not just doing it to you, but they're doing it to you in front of the
The
world.
world.
And so when people start playing, like, trying to play chess behind the scenes, it comes back to bite. And Drew is playing checkers.
I think that's, and I just to jump franchises real quick. I think that's why Uber would get so pissed off. You don't know anything about me. Like when Aaron would say, "I know secrets about all of you." I think stuff was going on behind the scenes. Like they're one way off camera,
Yeah.
then they get on camera another way.
Yep.
So which I think I might would be the same. Like, girl, no, you didn't. I do feel like it's interesting how Portia is saying, she wants my baby daddy on to film behind my back. I also feel like, because I already looked at the clips for next week, because I mean, God forbid they only put out a 30-second clip. They put out 7-minute clips of every scene almost online.
Mm.
Even in this episode, though, when Portia was like, "Can I break the fourth wall?" I honestly thought she was going to come with, "You text, like, I thought it was going to be that kind of fourth wall break, like that. But I
No.
guess even her mentioning that it's a show is considered a fourth wall break.
Yeah.
So I get that. But I think Portia's latching on to this so it can be her storyline as well. So then she doesn't have to get into too much discussion about her and Simon. I really do feel like that. Like the "you stole that lady's husband" of it all.
Right.
But now I can be mad at Drew and have this beef with Drew and this is my story too. So it ain't just Drew wanting to film with your baby dad. This is now your story too.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, Portia is good at the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on to some questions, though. We've got some questions in the chat. Some people have sent me questions. If you guys are watching, and we've had a big influx of viewers pop in, so if you guys are
Yeah.
just joining, please put something in the chat. If it's Atlanta related or anything, we're happy to chat about everything. Now, this is a silly question, but it really is valid. Are there only men in Atlanta? Steph asked, because
Yes.
everyone seems to have been with the Hot Dog King, and I think Dennis seems perfectly fine. Like, he seems very nice, and like, but he's not like hot.
Well, yeah, to answer that question, there's only 5 men. That's why they go to Africa.
Oh God, Taria.
They all do. Nene had one.
Not had
I mean,
one.
oh yeah, that was it.
Not on this.
Nene.
Not on this white man's channel.
Oh no. But that is a running joke that the women in Atlanta go over, seas, if you
Mm,
will.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was a wrong, not seas. Y'all know what I mean.
Did I get your black card taken away?
You snatched it back.
Do you think Shamia knows Portia doesn't really like her? Wait, do you think Shamia knows Portia doesn't really like her? Do you think
I
that's true?
No, I think I was thinking about this today. There are people in the world that truly could love you, like really love you, but they're jealous hearted and they don't want you to do better than them. They don't want anybody doing better than them, even if it's
Yeah.
their closest friend. So I feel like that's Portia. She really loves Shamia, but I also feel like there is a little bit of a envy, and maybe envy is too strong of a word, but there's a little bit of a I should have what you have. Why don't I have what you have there? So,
Yeah,
and I think,
that's not a
I
friend,
mean, it's not think when you think back to I said I think people forget Portia's reaction. Remember when they thought the cameras were down seasons ago, when Phaedra and Portia and Sheree were at that table, and Phaedra says Shamia is and does like this with Todd and Candy,
Yeah.
and Portia says she doesn't just not because people are like she didn't defend her friend. Not only did she not defend her friend, she says they are close. And Shamia was engaged to be married.
Yeah.
That's your friend. So I do think there is a level of also survival mode with Portia.
Hmm.
So whatever, it's always Portia is always going to come first. She's never going to be selfless. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's how I feel. People may see it different, but I feel like there is a hint of I should have what you have.
No, I got a lot of questions asking about bringing Nene back. Now, I just want to say, like, y'all,
Please.
please, I would love to see her back, but the show just aired.
That's true.
Filming isn't going to start for another year.
Which is crazy though, right? Because clearly they were filming. I wonder when they're going to start filming. Shami is a Taurus. Her birthday's either at the end of April or May, which means they were filming
Hmm.
then. And on her Instagram, she posted, you know how her, Kelly, and Brittany went out?
Yep.
She posted on her Instagram, she had that outfit on and she was getting ready to go out to dinner. And she was like, my first ever scene as a Real Housewives of Atlanta. So we know they filmed in April or May. So I was literally wondering today, like, wow, I wonder how soon they're going to start filming and how long will we have to wait again?
Wait, this actually brings to a question that I have for you because I think there's some timeline things that are a little confusing on filming.
Mhm.
I felt like when we were in real time witnessing like the news come in about the Kenya thing
Mhm.
happen, it felt to me like they had been filming for quite a bit of time at
I
that
th-
point.
I thought it was only like not even 3 months into filming. I thought,
Sorry, by quite a bit of time. That I shouldn't have said it that way. Like I feel like every housewife films for like 3 months generally.
oh yeah, yeah,
It
yeah,
felt like
yeah,
they were about like halfway through a season worth of filming.
yeah.
But then I felt like when we got news that they were going on their trip and Phaedra was coming, that felt like it was like months
Months.
later, right?
I wonder, do you think
I
they
think
maybe
they
stopped
filmed for
production?
I think they filmed for a long time this season.
Yeah.
I think they have like 6 months of footage. No, I'm not kidding. Because I
Mm.
think also in this episode, we got a scene where Angela was like a month ago. Did you catch that? Where like
Yes.
a month ago she checked in on me because I think they started filming some like test shots with like the new
I
wife
didn't think
like
about
a
that. You're
month
right.
prior to this episode.
Well, there was one that said 3 months prior.
Or that, no, 3 months. Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
I think they
I
have
didn't even
been
think about
working for a
that.
minute on trying to get all this right.
Oh, so that means they were filming almost at the top of the year, like February then.
That scene had to
February,
have
March,
been,
April.
but
Yeah.
they could have lied about that, and it could be a fake foot. It could be just like a staged
But
like
that's crazy.
shot.
I think you're right too. I think they wanted to kind of safeguard themselves and have as much footage to work with as they possibly.
Yeah, I feel like well, it's an yeah. I always like to know the timeline on these things, and I just have a
Yeah.
feeling that like where are they in? Okay, I guess this would be how we could figure it out. Where are they at in Married to Medicine right now? Like what time of year? We don't have any. That would answer it, right?
Oh.
Because Phaedra just left Married to Medicine in like last week's episode.
So we'd have to go back. I Married to Medicine used to be one of my favorite shows, but due to Dr. Heavenly, I have not watched it all this season, so I'd have to go back and see.
Oh, we don't watch it. It's not really. You could watch The
Okay.
Vacation, but you don't need to. The Vacation, just like
That
one
would piss me
episode.
off even more.
Well, Heavenly's not really involved in that fight. That's like more of a Quad and Gregory thing. So, but
Yeah, that's
the show
true.
this season has not been very good, and I'm worried for them, to be honest with you.
Ooh. And that's been for the past couple of seasons.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Okay, some more questions. So let's see up here in the chat. We had some come in.
I cannot believe we're discussing Atlanta. I'm ready for the next episode.
I know, me too. I'm really, really excited. Um, we had somebody come
And we
in.
left off on a to be continued. Like,
Oh, was it a to be continued?
mm-hmm.
We had a fourth wall. We talked about fourth wall breaking. We talked about lavender marriages. Kix had to learn what a lavender marriage was apparently. Let me go back over here to Instagram. If you guys once again have some more questions, pop them in the chat.
I
Oh,
want
wait,
to
are you
ask.
watching Southern Hospitality? This is not Atlanta related, but
No, I was supposed to be watching, and you told me I didn't have to go back and watch the first season.
yeah, you don't. You don't. You can just watch. I think you would find it quite
I
entertaining.
I think I need to like take off one day, stay in, and have whole pizza day. I got that from Raven, and where as soon as Domino's opens, order me a pizza and just eat off of it all day and watch TV.
That's crazy. That would take you a whole day. It usually takes me about 30 minutes.
Oh,
Wait, that's a genius idea.
yeah, she would have whole pizza Sunday, and you just eat off of it all day. You know, wherever it is you order your pizza from, and you just eat off of it all day. I love that.
Okay, we got some more. There we go. Sorry, it took me a second to find them. We have. What are our thoughts on a Rolls Royce as a birthday gift? To me, I would say more than absolutely.
I feel like, yeah. I feel like her excitement wasn't fake, so she knew. Like, I mean,
You know that TikTok sound? That TikTok sound of yeah. Well, hell yeah.
yeah, is that what I sounded like?
Well, yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
Well, hell
I
yeah.
for 430,000, yeah. Like if that's what she wanted, like
See, I am not a car person. I've never had a car outside of being in high school because I've never lived somewhere where I needed
okay.
one.
See,
After
then that's
so
yeah.
it's just like I have thought about getting a car like in the city, but I don't really care like about the type of car. I think I would rather for $500,000 like buy me some clothes, like a wardrobe, or
Well, I
buy
was gonna
me
say, I think it
trip.
depends on what you like. Like some people will, like I had a friend I used to work with, and she would be like, I don't know, how do you, I would not be spending $200, $300 on a purse, but she ate out every day. And I said, how much do you spend a week on eating out? Because I wouldn't spend, I'd rather bring my lunch and save my money and
Mhm.
go buy something tangible. So I think it
Yeah.
just depends on what you like. And she probably has the wardrobe and all of that. So what else can you get someone that has everything but doesn't have this, maybe, you
Yeah.
know?
What is our dream Atlanta cast?
Nene, Kenya. I'll tell you right now. Nene, Kenya, Portia. I would add in Angela Oakley because I feel like she's got something and I would want to see it. I said Nene, Kenya.
You mean Angela Barkley?
Yeah, Angela Barkley. Nene, Kenya, Portia, Angela Oakley, Cynthia, and I think I would throw in, I would do a Sheree. Because for some reason, I feel like Sheree and Angela would go at it. I don't know why, but I feel like there would be some energy there. And then maybe bring a newbie in that is authentically connected to the cast. That's my dream cast.
I think after this first watch, I think Shamia needs to be in there. Did you say Shamia?
No, Shamia is 7. Boom. We have our 7. I don't need anybody new because we know of Shamia. And then I would even let Marlo come back as a friend of, because she was good as a friend of.
Terrible housewife. One of the worst
Yeah.
you've ever had.
She says she feels like she should have been offered a peach this season because she would have done well.
Okay. I don't think that's true, but we all can have our own opinion
Yeah.
on that.
So that's my dream Atlanta cast.
Yeah, I think mine would be Nene, Portia, Candy. I like this idea of Angela. I'm gonna throw Kelly in there. Well, I want to
Okay.
see Kelly trying spat with Nene.
Okay.
I'm gonna put Kenya in the mix,
Okay.
and I'm going to throw in one more, and her name is going to have to go ahead and be Tammy. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Y'all, Tammy was a friend of like one
With
of the
the blonde braids, yes.
that really bad season, the Kim Fields season. We bring back Kim Fields.
Listen, I literally thought if you had said Kim Zolciak, we would have ended this live
Well, someone
immediately.
in here said Kim. Y'all know
Portia said Kim on Watch What Happens Live, and I said,
for
"Oh,
what?
yeah," because she said she has a lot going on, content. Not all content is good content. I don't care. Nope, absolutely not. Not after what she said on that couch and said to Andy in that bathroom. No, next.
I forgot about that. Doesn't that feel like age, like lifetime,
Ages
eons
ago.
ago?
That was my favorite. Sometimes I go back, and I know people don't like the gang ups, but sometimes I go back and watch that reunion when they all
Really?
took turns getting Kim together, and Kenya went and sat by Nene, and it was like they were all on the same team. Like, I need talls against smalls again. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I need, that energy.
See, my favorite. So, okay, this is a fun question we can wrap up on actually. So, I want to know what your favorite, like maybe let's go top three favorite seasons of Atlanta are. For me,
Ooh,
I'll go first and I'll give you a second to think about it. For me,
yeah.
my favorite, and I think this is really unpopular. Maybe not really unpopular, but I think it's tough because Nene wasn't in it. But I think my favorite season is that season with the Phaedra of it all, the where they were trying to film a season without Nene and they were scared it wasn't going to work, and it worked. I thought it worked so well. The with the candy and the sex dungeon and the I
Oh,
just thought
yes.
I
Okay,
thought they operated
yes.
on all cylinders because I think they were
They
all
did.
worried that Nene not being there was going to be a problem, and I think they
Yeah,
excelled. That was our Bravo's first 4-part reunion. Like it was
yeah.
crazy. So I love that season. I also love season 3. I think the trip to Africa is a legendary moment
Yes.
in the franchise. So good. And
I
then
can.
I would say season 5 is Portia and Kenya's first season, correct? Then I would say I think season 6. Then once
That's my
everything settles.
that's my top. Season 6 is my top. So who drives the train, baby? It wasn't a real train.
That is crazy. Now talk about now. I can't take away once again. I think we established this. I cannot take away black cards, but I have to imagine that as a community, that may have been a moment.
Heard around the world with your grandfather as big in Black history as he is.
Crazy.
He flipped over. That and then when and I think it's the same scene. Like my favorite season of all time is season 6.
Mhm.
I just, oh my god, everything about that when they were in the house and Nene's like, I'm gonna get a glass of wine and me and Kenya are gonna cuss you all out. Like, oh, I love that season. I think I would have to give. That was a good season that you're talking about.
I think it gets slept on
Without
because
the
Nene's
Nene.
not in it, but like
Yeah.
the content was so crazy.
And then I think anything. What was Phaedra's first season when she didn't remember her pregnancy, and Nene
That
was
was
like, "That's
3.
just
Well, you know
stupid."
what? I think the Africa season is 4, actually, not 3.
Okay,
So
so
4 was
three
in
is
my
good.
3 is Phaedra's first season. It's
Okay,
Cynthia and Phaedra's and Cynthia's wedding mishap, and
yes,
that was crazy.
so 6, 3, and
Mhm.
then the one
Yep.
without
I think it's
Nene.
8 or
Yeah,
9. 9 maybe.
yeah. Oh, I want to
Well,
do a rewatch of 6.
I know maybe I need to too. I might do that tonight. Just start that.
Let me ask you this real quick. I know we're wrapping up, but with production and editing, and they tell the story they want us to know. When Portia and Shamia went in that closet after Portia was late, and Portia says, "I'm going to help you change," and then we hear Portia say, "Sorry, I'm late." Then we hear Shamia say, "There's nothing I could do about it." Then Portia says, "You look beautiful." It made me think. When you go, I don't think that Shamia was saying to Portia, "There's nothing I can do about it." To her saying, "I'm sorry, I'm late." I felt like it had something to do with maybe her outfit or her clothes, because Portia then is like, "You look beautiful." I don't know. I don't believe that that was to that. And part of it is like I don't trust production, because there's another point that I felt like the production was altered
Hmm.
when Kenya gets there and air kisses Drew, hugs Cynthia, introduces her. Britt says, "I'm Britt." The background noise goes away. It gets quiet for a second, and then it comes in. So it almost feels like, oh, I almost felt like they were
She
trying
shaded
to,
her. Like they were trying to make it seem like she gave her the cold
yeah.
shoulder.
And I was like, but she
Oh,
said, "Oh, you guys are beautiful." And for me, I didn't feel like it was wrong that Kenya didn't hug them. Some people are huggers. You notice Portia came in and hugged everyone, and even Kelly, and she knows Kelly talked about her. Kenya is not hugging everybody, and I understand that as well. Do you think that Britt came in with an energy for Kenya and was looking for something, or do you think she really was offended by the ring question? Because I'm a woman of a particular age, so my old wedding ring was lost, and I didn't have one for like 10 years. Corey had one, and I would say, "Just buy me a band. I don't care." He was like, "No, I want you to have more than a band." So that was an argument. Then eventually I got a different ring, the ring I wanted, and I haven't got a band yet. And in my mind, I'll say, I need to hurry up and get a band, because people are going to think I'm engaged. They're not going to think I'm married. So I got where, and for me, I got where Kenya was coming from when she was like, "Oh, are you?" Her thinking that Britt was just engaged and asking that question. I didn't take it as shade.
I don't think I did not think it was that much shade. I don't think.
And even if it was, it was a
Brit, I don't think Brit is that slick either to like try and like make a fight on the other side of
okay,
it with Kenya. Like
okay.
she doesn't feel that slick to me. Like I don't think she knows it. If she was a little more slick, she may have had her husband wear something different to that party.
Oh, okay. But then her saying, "Kenya, can you give me a hug? Because I saw how you hugged me." I thought it was a cute moment when they walked over hand in hand. Like, girl, come on. I thought, oh, so to know where we're going to eventually get to with them, I want to see what happens to get them to that point. Because Britt said she thought they had made up, and somebody else on the cast said it too. I forget. They squashed everything. So they were surprised when they got to Kenya's thing and she did this thing.
Yeah.
It's also interesting that Shamia is good friends with Kelly, and they're doing interviews, and they don't care for Britt, when Britt and Kelly were very close at
It sounds
first.
like no one cares for Brit. Like Portia
Yes.
was not. She was like, I don't really fuck with her on Watch What Happens Live.
I'm wondering what.
Yeah, I don't know
Mm,
what happened.
yeah.
Well, guys, this was wonderful.
Yes, it
Taria, thank
was.
you for being here. This is so fun.
Thank you for having me.
Y'all, Taria is a YouTube girl now, so go make sure to subscribe to her channel. She's finna gag you over on her channel. I'm probably gonna get canceled for
And I'm
finna
gonna be
gag.
gag because I'm T.
See. Thank you guys for being here. We once again doing YouTube lives every week here on Dumpster Dive's YouTube page. So please make sure to subscribe. Next week, I don't know what day we're gonna do it quite just yet, but I would love to know about what you want us to cover. Recap. We could do an Atlanta recap again. I'm open to anything. The lives are
You
just
have
an
to do
opportunity.
Atlanta again.
What would you say?
You have to do Atlanta because I want to see what people think about what's going to happen with Portia and Drew.
Okay.
Just from the clips, I'm like, oh, so you have to do Atlanta
Okay,
again.
maybe I will. So in terms of what day that'll be, I don't know, but there will also be a podcast episode out next week as well. And if you're coming to the channel late and you want a just audio version of it, or other episodes, make sure to follow Dumpster Dive on your podcast platforms. And thanks for being here, everyone. And follow Taria; she's the best at We Go Podcast.
And
Bye, y'all.
subscribe.
Okay, great.
I have to have you on my channel too,
Yes, please.
the podcast.